Alright guys, wait, you want to fill it up?
No, I don't think
Good afternoon, everyone. Guys, for attending. So, if you guys don't know, I'm Dennis, I'm your automotive rep. Back there is Shawn Nehrir, he's the national dealer trainer. So, just want to let you give you guys some background information on this all came about. I met with Molly a long time ago, talking about requesting some sort of training regarding phone skills, interactions to get you guys, more efficient and more effective on the phone to get, obviously stuff in cars. So, Shawn recently joined the team, and I got a hold of him, and we were able to put something really quickly together within the last month or so. So, really excited to be here. I just want to introduce you again to Shawn Nehrir. So, go ahead.
Hi everybody.
Hey, Shawn. Hey, Shawn.
Well, again, hello, and hope you all doing well. And thanks for having me. I'm proud to be a car salesman. And I think everybody in the room knows, no matter what your position is, we all sell cars, right or wrong. We are here for one purpose only. Who is that?
Sell cars.
Sell cars, but more importantly, take care of our customers, right? So, before I get too far into this, there's a few things I want to share with all of you, talk to you about. First of all, I go around the country and I deal with a lot of the dealer groups, and we share best practices with them. Human beings weren't born to talk, they weren't born to sell cars. They emulate somebody else in the best practices, and that's how we all get better. Our parents taught us how to speak, right? And we learn what we do at work from somebody that was better than us over the years, right? That's why managers are managers, and the GMs and the GSMs are in their position, because they know something a little bit more, and they have a little bit better insight. Behind you, if you would take a look on the wall, you might want to take this down. I'm not going to ask you to take a whole heck of a lot of notes down, but certain things I'm going to ask you to take down. In my previous classes, last 6 months I've been doing this, a lot of people have sent me feedback by email, by phone, and text, and so on. But before we start this session, here's my info. Feel free to do it or not. Got a couple of warnings for you. Warning number 1, I will laugh at all my jokes. Warning number 2, if your phone rings, I get to answer the call. Unless, of course, who the customers buy at their convenience or our convenience.
There it is.
And by the way, guys, I used to be an F&I too, and I can hold it as long as it takes to get a response, all right? So, who do the customers buy cars? Whose convenience? Theirs or ours? Theirs. So if it's a customer's ringing, you guys, this is a free-for-all. You're not planning on that seat. If a customer rings, get out of your seat, go out, make the appointment, and take the call, and do the deal, all right? You're here because you want to be here, because you have to be here. A couple of must-knows, obviously, the restrooms are here. Feel free to get up and have some food right there. You're not planted on those seats. If you need to go to the bathroom, you need to go help the customer, drink of water, whatever it is, do it, okay? We're here for you. If I go through 5 of these slides, and only 5, and I'm answering all of your questions, I'm good with that, okay? Everything good about that? Everything's good? This class is about who? Somebody tell me who that is right there. You. It's not about your customers so much, it's about you, right? We take care of our own first, so our own takes care of our customers, right? The name of this course is Customer Connection. Who can tell me how you make a customer connection? It's a total interactive class, so I need to hear from you. Wild car salesman, we have, this is open book. Get it off your chest. Yes, sir, in the back.
With the smile?
How do you connect with a customer?
Introducing smile is but introducing myself, tell about myself, and welcome to Volkswagen.
One step before that, how do you come in contact and connection with customers?
Shaking hands.
Yeah, but what is that called? How do you
Agree.
Building the bridge.
connections? There's 4 connections. Think about it. Eye contact. You don't know the customers from Adam. How do you come in contact with them for the first time? Think about it that way.
Through the phone?
Perfect. Now hold on to that thought. I forgot about something very important. Today's class has some prizes of unspeakable value. These unspeakable values could be anything. And so the first unspeakable value is on this card. And because that's the correct answer and you just shouted it out, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You get a prize of unspeakable value. It's an awesome thing. So I'm just going to put that over here real quick. Right? I'm going to put down phone. But that is not the main one. What is the main one? What is the way we connect with customers? The one that's so important. The one that we just want to get everybody to do, all of our customers. What is that? How do we come in connection with them, contact with them? That's the most important.
Advertising.
Who said internet? Prize of unspeakable value, sir. You're absolutely correct. Internet also what? It's an email, right? Of course. Okay, so I want to do phone, email, right? And there's one more important than phone.
Calling up.
Huh?
Calling up.
Say again.
Calling up.
Are you saying like face-to-face contact?
Yeah.
Prize of
Oh, that's what you
unspeakable.
meant, yeah.
You know what? I'm not only going to give you a prize of unspeakable value, I'm going to give you two.
He's on a diet.
You gotta understand, I used to play football, you'll hear about it in a minute. I'm gonna throw some passes, see if the good receivers are not. We'll get that going. Thank you, sir. Walk-in is absolutely right. If the customer's down the street, what do we wanna do with them? They're on the phone, they're on the email, they're doing what? What do we wanna do with them? Face to? Face. So, most important one, I'm going to put face to face, but walk-in is the same thing, right? That's the other one. What's the one that people just want to get their toes in the water, feel the waters, and they don't want to give you their name, they don't want to give you their email address, they don't want to give you a phone number. They just want to get their feet wet, get into the market, just see if you're the right dealer that they want to do business with. What's that one of connection? It's so big, that's blown up in our area.
Third party.
Reviews?
Yelp.
It's a connection.
Online chatting.
Is this a connection? Face to face?
Sure.
Is this a connection to a direct customer? Is this a connection to a direct customer? They email you, you respond back to them, do we connect?
Social media.
What's another way that's just blowing up?
Social
This
media.
area, New York, and in Florida. Which
Click
one?
to chat.
Social media.
Click to connect. Live chatting.
Facebook. Social media.
Not quite.
Word of mouth.
Not quite. Facebook, tell you what,
Advertising.
since it's so big, and since it's so good, and since we need to move forward, I'm just gonna tell you if that's okay. I'm just gonna get more, no, I'm not gonna get advice, but it's chat. They just wanna get their feet in the water. They wanna test the water. So you got,
He said it like.
well, you gotta understand.
No M&M, man.
You gotta understand, I'm a little hard of hearing too, so when I say, that means you have to speak up a little bit more. And when I go like this and you don't have a name tag, that means I gotta hear your name one more time. There you go, partner. I apologize. You said chat.
Online
Pretty
chatting.
awesome. So instead of putting it here, I put it there. All right, before we move too far forward in this customer connection, I put this suit on and this tie on to impress you all. Are you impressed? Yes.
Absolutely.
Take it off. Get comfortable here. So, since we're all into the deals, into the business, we're gonna be honest with one another, right or wrong. To get more out of this, you gotta be extremely, extremely into this to know that you get a lot out of it. So, with that said, let me tell you a little bit about me and where I come from. I was born in Iran, grew up in Pennsylvania as a farm boy. At age 15, I realized I planted plenty of fields and plowed plenty of fields, but I'm really a gearhead. What's a gearhead? Everybody in this room is a gearhead, car guy. I went from age 15 to 21, went through high school and went through college, sweeping the floors. I was a porter. My first job was at State College, Pennsylvania, and I worked at a Chevrolet store, stock of Chevrolet. Anybody seen that sign right there?
Yes.
I grew up, went to school in State College, went to Penn State. I played for Joe Paterno, but I didn't know Sandusky. All right? Along the way, I did everything. Age 21, I wanted to be a car salesman. I had a college graduate, but I wanted to be a salesman. I've been so exposed to it that it was a good thing. So the used car manager took me under wing. Age 21, I was a salesman, then became a closer, then became an F&I manager, then a sales manager, used car manager, used car director, GSM, GM. I've never been a controller. I could read a statement pretty good, but you definitely don't want me to do your taxes. You with me? All right. I've never been an owner, but being a GM, y'all know how that works, right? Got to work with a lot of really, really good caliber people and learned a lot from them. Along the way, I met a few people. Can anybody tell me who that is?
John.
Huh?
John?
Who's?
Roy Orbison.
Andrew.
Who said that? Roy Orbison.
No, who wears stars?
Roy Orbison.
Roy Orbison. He wrote the song
Pretty woman.
Pretty Woman. Okay? What about this guy? Anybody know him?
Rodney.
James Feldman. You guys know he still lives in Newport, not that far away from my house. And what about this gal right here? He used to date her at the time. His life. What about that guy right there?
Sorry, on there?
It's actually Garrett Anderson. Golden Glove, good guy.
Last time.
What about this lady right here?
Country singer.
No, that's, I know, yeah, Dolly Parton.
Guys, this is a pretty interesting story. Oh, man, I used to work at a Lincoln Mercury store. And I was 22 years old, whatever. A guy walks in, says, "Boy, buy a town car." I said, "Okay, let's go." Went and helped him, found one of the white one. I said, "Here it is, let's make a deal." He said, "You don't understand. I just don't want a town car. I want a 120-inch stretch in it." So way back in the early 80s, a limousine was too hard to find. So we had to take this car, drive it into Atlanta, chop it in the middle, put a 120-inch stretch in it, drive it back, and I got the opportunity to drive in it and go to her birthday. At that party, I met Kenny Rogers, Roy Orbison was there, a few other namely people, but I didn't get a chance to sign the party. But at the end of the day, I had an opportunity to meet a lot of good people. How about this guy? You guys know who this is? Tiger. Tiger, the year that he became a pro, I think it was 97, he's my favorite athlete. Year 97, he became a pro, he had a hole-in-one in La Costa. The car that he won, he already had one. So he told Mercedes-Benz to take the car back and in replacement, get a car for his mom. Everybody knows his mom and dad used to live in Tustin, still do. So I drove the car to their house, walk-in, 4-car garage. All of his cars from when he was 16, 17, went to Stanford, 4 cars, walk into the house, from floor to ceiling, wall units worth all of the prizes, all of the trophies. It was the most amazing scene. Pretty interesting. So over the years I followed him and Googled him and did a lot of the stuff. I'm kind of a hacker, so I like to follow the winners, you know how you learn by emulating somebody else. I figured I could become at least a cat. Not necessarily a tiger, you can play golf. You with me? I got some passions. I got 3 boys. My oldest is Nicholas. He's just graduating Cal State Fullerton. Zachary just got recruited out of high school last year. Plays college ball. He's a center fielder, and he plays for Orange Coast College. Last summer he played for the Yankee scout team. This summer he's playing with the Diamondback scout team, and they just made the playoffs. And this little guy right here is 12. He just joined the 7th grade yesterday, first day. Got some bad habits. Any Harley lovers in the room? Any Harley people in the room? I know it's a bad habit. I like to rev them and tinker with them and so on. So a few years went back. You remember 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, when the market tanked? I was a tank. 285 pounds. I walked in the doctor's office and said, "Doc, I can't breathe very well. Something wrong with me." He says, "I got some bad news for you. Number 1, your cholesterol count is 350. Who knows what that means? Near death, right? And he said, the only fat boy he sees in this picture is the guy riding it. I said, "Okay, Doc, I got the message." So I started to do something else. I started going riding a bicycle. And the town that I live in, South Orange County, is pretty close to where all those Navy SEALs are. They got blown out eyes and ears. They got missing limbs. they don't know what pain is. They get on the bicycle. They taught me before you get to any successes, you got to go through some pain. So at 280, I'm now to about 215. Okay, I'm 220. And so I learned to adopt some of their ways, which is toughness, which is learning everything has a structure, a way to do it. So these guys right here are very important to me. And with that said, is there anybody in the room that has served our country? Anybody in the room that know what to say to somebody when they see them in uniform? What do you say to them? Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Absolutely correct, sir. They will appreciate you thanking them for their service. You with me? So, why did I just share all that information with you?
You're trying to build rapport. Tell us about yourself.
Say it again.
You're trying to build rapport. Tell us about yourself.
Oh my gosh. The number one thing out of your mouth, sir, you're absolutely correct. In fact, that is worth M&M's or pretzel. Thanks for your pretzel. So, we're going to write this thing down, guys. Tell me more about what you saw. Why was it that I shared so much intimate personal information with you? Other than rapport, what was I doing with you?
Make a connection.
You're absolutely correct. I was making connection. But let's talk about rapport. That's a pretty bad speller. If I screw it up, don't worry about it. Rapport. I want to ask you, when customers go shopping, where do they go shopping? Do they do newspaper, radio, TV, billboard?
Internet.
Absolutely correct, sir. They do internet. When they see internet, do they get audio and video, or they just get video, get pictures?
You get every video.
Is that right? They speak to somebody?
Oh,
when they're
not
on-
speak, no. Both.
Okay. Do they touch somebody when they're on the internet?
No.
Is there feelings on the internet?
No.
Is that something that's missing from all the internet? Everybody 15 years ago when the internet came out, there is no speaking, there is no feeling, there is no nothing except what? You saw the pictures just like the customers see the pictures. I had some writings on there, you all read them before I said anything. But the connection comes from who?
Individual.
All right? So I want to establish the fact that that's who your customers are. They're missing the feelings, they're missing the verbiage, they're missing everything. Most important thing about this thing is that we come across people that buy cars and they shop us on the internet. 92% nationally, they go shopping on the internet, and the other 8%, they have a brother, sister, father, daughter, whatever it is, they shop for them. How does that feel when the repeat referral customer walks in?
Great.
Feels good, right? How often do they walk in? Once every too few, too far between. How would it feel like if everybody that walked in had that feeling? You had that feeling with them. How would that feel to you?
Fantastic.
So today, we're not going to ask you to take a whole heck of a lot of notes. I want you to pay more attention, but when it comes time to take a couple of notes, it's very important to you. And we will share with you what those notes got to be. There's a place on our company, Dealer Learning Center. This right here you should probably write down. Dealer Learning Center is a place where you can see everything you're going to hear from me today. And in between coffee cups and in between ups, you can jump on it, watch a 3-minute video. Oh yeah, that's how you handle this situation. Or they talk about social media, or they talk about what to do with a customer that is not connecting with you. But I'm going to tell you, share with you a lot of the stuff today, okay? So today's agenda, what are we going to cover? Number one thing we're going to cover, we're going to tell you what the customer's mindset. What are they doing? Your introduction and agenda, I met some of you, but what I'd like to do is to quickly go through from starting here, tell me who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing it, and if you have any hobbies. Go.
My name is Peter, I work with Ashley Store, internet manager. I've been doing this for like under 2 years. And some of my hobbies is like working out, martial arts, and
Awesome.
hanging out with family.
Pretty awesome. All right, sir.
My name is Bobby Day, work for VW Alhambra. I've been doing this since 1989 with VW.
There time?
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. Yes, sir.
My name is Andrew. Can you stop me? I'm sorry.
Name, what do you do, how long have you been doing it, and how?
Okay, here's sales, I've been at it for over a year. I really have hobbies. Just some of it.
Excellent. George.
It's motorcade. I got like a Nehrir with Volkswagen. I like a soccer.
Cool.
My name is Egno, salesman of the car business, 1 year. My hobby is video.
Jack, been here for over a year. Salesman. Looking at research on it, reading, research.
Everybody in the room take phone calls? Everybody in the room do emails, personal or business? Everybody in the room take ups?
Yes.
Everybody in the room chats? You guys text?
Yes.
Good, you're in the right class. Okay, go.
My name is Gino Gonzalez. I've been in sales for 6 years. Going on my 3rd year with Volkswagen. I assist the used car department. And what I enjoy doing is sleep on my days off and spend time with family.
Used cars are very close to my heart, even though I've worked with cars for a long time. But I was a director of used cars at a local dealership, and used cars are very close to me. I worked the used cars when the internet first went from paper to the internet, and I grew with it. And a lot of the stuff that I want to share with you all today is what I've learned, I've come across over the past 12 years that the internet's been around. By the way, the internet is only 15 years old. Did you realize the emails are 12 years old and they are evolving? I'm going to share with you how good they're evolving and what the advantages and disadvantages of what you do. We're going to talk about that. So let's talk about, yes, sir? You're next.
Sure. My name is Emir Matlesha. I'm in Volkswagen H9 sales, and I'm in Volkswagen 2 years. My hobby is swimming. I love to
You look like a swimmer.
Thank you.
Bird trainer.
I know a lot of triathletes. I used to do it to some triathletes with triathlons, but I gave them all up. Swimming is way too hard. Right? Very nice. Let's talk about what you're going to take away from this class. Today, when you leave here, I'm going to give you 5 nuggets that you're going to take to the showroom and utilize them. I've had so many texts and emails that it worked, and then they send me information back to how they bettered it, and then I share it with more people. So you will take 5 nuggets. The only thing is, I got that really bad memory, and I got good memory, but it's just short. So I got a problem with that. Just remember and remind me, at the end of the class, once I put the whole frame up around this, I'm going to share those nuggets with you and make a lot more sense to you. Yes, sir.
My name is Rafi Nicogosian. I'm the fleet manager here at Volkswagen Alhambra. I've been here about a year now. My hobbies are selling cars and playing sports.
What sports? Who and what sports?
Basketball, and football and high school.
It's a great sport. Basketball is a good workout. Yes, sir.
I'm Paul, internet manager, one of the internet managers here. I've been here for 8 months. My hobbies are basically sports also.
What do you do?
Hockey.
That's been tough in demand too. I was an internet director for 18 months, and we had a 22% closing ratio out of the internet leads when I left there the last 3 or 4 months. We got everybody on the same page, everybody was doing all the right things, and we'll talk about internet and how internet is not all that's made out to be, but there's good and bad techniques, right? Swinging at that golf club, technique is all it is. Yes, sir?
Hey, Mark Arian, DSM. Been in the business for about 15 years, past 5 with the Volkswagen Group, Pasadena and Alhambra. Hobbies, just stay active stuff.
Good for you, that's smart. You either lose it, use it or lose it, right? The way it is. Yes, sir?
Carl Zerner, I'm the general manager. I've been GM here for about a year. 29 years with Volkswagen, and hobbies working and golf.
Very nice. We gotta talk about that golf.
Yeah.
Normally drive a ball 300 yards. I can't find it.
You got me, man.
I can't find it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I want to thank you all for inviting me to come out here. There's 4 like me nationally. I'm from the West Coast, obviously, so that's why I'm here talking to you. But let's talk about what's going on today. My son Zachary, you all met him. He is just starting his sophomore year. I'm a shopper. I like that silver Corvette with black guts, black convertible top, and it's got to have the nice chrome shiny wheels, but it's got to be an 07 or newer because I like the new body style. Is it the Z6 or something like that?
Z06.
Z06. So I want a new body style. The only thing is, I am shopping for that car, and I got to wait to see if he'll get a 4-year ride or he gets drafted by somebody. So I'm probably about a year away. What's the difference between me and these guys?
They already done their research.
No, you're delaying your purchase, you're just browsing right now.
I'm just a shopper. Who are these people?
They're buyers.
Buyers when?
Now.
Within the next 90 days.
Even sooner. We want to concentrate on the people that are ready to pull the trigger in the next day, next 3 days, next week. They're ready to go. There's some habits that they have. There's certain things that they do and say. We want to bring that to the surface for you so you can pick up on it, so you can pick up on it when you're with them and you're making the connections. How do you make the connections? We're hoping by the end of today, you get that chat to become a email. Get that email to become a phone call. Get that phone call to become a what? Face-to-face. When I go like that, that's heaven. That's when a customer is right there in front of me. I'm ready to pull the trigger, right or wrong, Mr. GSL.
Yes, sir.
All right. So with that said, we want to get away from selling. We want to get away from anything that's got to do with car selling. What do we want to get into? We want to get into influence and engagement. Somebody tell me what that means, to influence somebody, to engage somebody. Yes, sir.
To get them excited, to get them what's called excited about a product.
Yeah.
Engaged about it.
You want to direct them in the direction that you want them to go, because most people don't know what they want, right? We're going to talk about that. We're going to get them to go in the direction that you want them to go. And that direction is going to require some of this stuff. What is this stuff right here?
Engagement.
What does an engagement really mean?
Get involved with the car.
Okay, time out. What does it mean when 2 people get engaged?
Commitment.
Means they get into each other, right? They become one, right? So we want to get that influence to become an engagement. For you and your customer to become one. We're going to set up for success. We're going to give you some tools today on how you do that. Certain things that you have to say and do before that happens. We're going to talk about that today. Now, my company, ontrader.com, tells me that I have to put this conclusion and open discussion and questions at the end, but I failed to do so. I'm a car salesman, and I know when there's something on my mind, I want to know about it right now. So if you have a question, I don't even want you to raise your hand. Just say, hey, question. What about this? You with me? Don't take a lot of notes. This means nothing to you. What means a lot to you is what I'm not ready to share with you. Okay, again, this is not a beat down session, this is not a training, this is not a sales meeting. This is a share of best practices. So, customers' mindset, we want to talk about what they're doing. What are the customers are thinking, right? Is it fair to say that in order to play any game, whether it's basketball, hockey, football season, my favorite is on right now. If there's baseball, there's certain rules that everything has to be abided by, right or wrong. So in order to enter the arena of selling vehicles, selling cars, there's certain rules that we have to understand. How many people know somebody that happened to? Raise your hands. Show me who you know, somebody or yourself that has a short sale, foreclosure, or something. What about this? Loss of income, loss of 401k, loss of life. What about this? We talked about how it's $4.50, $4.60 a gallon now. It just went up. Do you think the customers have the same problems, same issues?
Yes.
Yes.
They're thinking about the same thing, right? So we got to know what the mindset is. Even though in 2012 things are loosening up a little bit, the recession seems to have come to somewhat of an end, especially in our area. Houses are starting to sell, customers are coming in buying cars, people are not as afraid, right? Well, then what happens? The customers have been through that recession. They're thinking, oh, you know what? $1 saved is $1 earned. That's what they're thinking. They're more thoughtful with how they spend their money. Who's been in the business 5 years or more? You guys remember 5 years or more to raise somebody $50 a month was no big deal. Can you raise somebody $5 a month now without being a challenge? All day long, right? So we're going to talk about is how spontaneous and being, how spontaneous is how being savvy is, and everybody is proud to have those coupons and rebates and go in and they put their chest out, say, I did some research, I got a great deal. And they're proud to tell their friends that they did the research and so on. What happens most of the time when the customers come in, they walk in, they have their chest out, shoulders back. I've done research. I've done that stuff right there, research, and I know more than
You,
Does that happen?
all of you.
Yes.
What about the customer that drives in? They pull into the lot and get a nice shiny BMW, whatever. They get out of the car. You all see the salesman come out of the showroom. They go and meet. Meet and greet still happens? They meet and greet. Within seconds, the customer's out, turning around, going back to his car and driving off the lot. And the salesman is coming back into the showroom, and the manager says, what happened? And the salesman says, I don't know. Would you say that's a connection or a total misconnection? Misconnection. All day long. Does that ever happen? Customers walk in, and we greet them, and somewhere along the line we lose it. We're going to talk about that today. And so we have to all know that there's two types of customers. Mr. and Mrs. Grape that walk in, I want that silver one, add tax and license, I'm wrapping it, I'm going, I'm down the road. Those are what kind of buyers?
We know what they want.
They're want buyers, aren't they? What about these people?
Need
Who are the need buyers? Give me an example.
broken down cars, total losses.
Wheels fall off,
Got an
they're in a
accident.
crash. But the family just grew out of the sedan, the bad credit, you're absolutely right. They grew out of the sedans. They need a car. They don't necessarily know if it's a minivan or an SUV, but they do know that they need that extra set of seats, right? They gotta pick up Jake and Adam on the way to soccer, go to the soccer practice. When Jake and Adam's parents pick up all the kids and drive them home, right? It's, what do they call that? Soccer. Soccer mom stuff. You just do carpooling possibly. Does that happen? So where do we want to spend most of our time concentrating? Here or here?
Needs.
Then one customer's happened to spot of us, right? Who am I? Am I a want buyer or a need buyer?
Want.
I'm a total want buyer. Anything that's got to do with performance, logically doesn't make sense, anything that's ridiculous, that's a want buyer. I'm gonna go and flop the money down and get it. Need buyer, they come into the lot. You gotta grab them by the hand and do what? You gotta keep exposing them to enough vehicles until they finally fall into something, right? We're gonna give you a little bit of help today. We're gonna open this thing wide open for you. We're gonna get you over the stumbling blocks to when they're talking to you, you're gonna have them put the question in the way they're gonna answer you the way you want to hear it. Okay? So one thing I want you to do right off the bat. As car dealers, we all have been in the business for so many years. We have to put a process with everything. Right or wrong, GSM?
Yes, sir.
There has to be a process with everything, with one exception. I finally realized over 30 years that the internet is not a process, but rather it's a shopping center. It's a shopping, somebody read that to me. Experience. Shopping experience. Somebody tell me, is it a good experience or a bad experience? What does it result in?
Buying, sale or no sale.
Sale or no sale? So write this thing down, ROE. We're gonna talk about return on E, experience. And then we're gonna talk about ROI, which is return on interest, investment. So let me ask this question for you. That table makes another M&M. All right, so look, Mike. So, return on investment. When you all got up this morning at your house, when you got ready, put your pants on just like everybody else. What was your investment when you came in to the office? Sir. Okay, sometimes you don't even need that. They'll provide it, right? Yes, sir.
Most of my gas.
Time. Okay? You all are our doctors of transportation. You guys have been hired by these folks to use your time, use your experience, use your knowledge to do what? Company owns the building, they pay the mortgage, they own all the cars, they own the office, the computer, the phone, the everything. They need you for what? Huh?
To run the business.
Right. And would you say you are the voice of the company?
Oh, yeah.
Would you guys say you are the contact of the company? So that's what we're gonna concentrate on.
In some cases.
That guy right there, we're gonna concentrate on that guy right there today, okay? So, what we did, autotrader.com, we needed a lot of information. So we've got 4,000 people that bought cars. We wanted to know how much time they spent online and how much time they spent offline. What would you say, how much time they spent online for a new car and offline for a new car?
About 75% online.
Okay, but how many hours?
Hours?
Yeah.
12 hours.
You know, there's no ladies in the room, but who's better in shopping, ladies or men?
Ladies.
Absolutely, right? They kick our butts in shopping. Just ask them how many tankfuls of gas goes in their shoes and their purses, they'll tell you. They are awesome in shopping. So they're at the upper end of the spectrum. While we men are laydowns, we're more low down. We find exactly what we want to be going, we get it. Ladies, you have to go to 3 or 4 different places before they get it. So imagine them being the upper scale and us the lower scale. How many hours would you say it took them to shop for that car before they come in to see you?
18 hours.
You're right. Can't be wrong. Tell me a number.
23 hours.
You're right.
Hi.
Right. Right.
100
Absolutely correct. Didn't even say it. But look, when you put everybody together, compile them together, 11 and a half hours online on you, 11 hours online on you. So if they are spending that much time online, what the heck are they doing 7 hours offline? What are they doing for 7 hours?
Going from place to place.
Yeah.
That is the correct answer, and it comes with a prize.
Of unspeakable value.
Absolutely right.
So,
Good catch.
You get some more back here.
So you guys, they spend that many hours online, that many hours offline, to get ready. What are they getting ready for?
Battle.
They're getting ready for you. The question is, are we ready for them? That many hours. The first hour of this is going to be nothing but frame. I'll tell you exactly what's happening in the marketplace. The second hour is going to be about how you can match up with them. So customers come through these ways. What's the most important way of them coming in? Internet. They come from the internet into your showroom floor. And then there's one reason why all the third-party companies are in business. Who's a third-party company?
Auto Trader, ABB, cars.
Everything.
Cars, Craigslist, Edmunds.
Hey, Beth, we all have one thing in common. There's one thing that we all want to do for you. What is that?
Give it away.
Make it easier.
Send a lead over here.
One more than that, not just lead. Customer. I want to send the customer to you. So watch this. I want that Corvette. I go into the computer, I put in the information. 25 cars show up on autotrader.com, cars.com. Out of the 25 cars, you're one of them. You have an inch above you, inch below you. There's other competitors that have the same car, right? So when I get them on these sites right here, if you get the phone call, email, chat, or whatever, would you want them on our site or somewhere else?
Our side.
On your website. Why do you want them on your website?
They see only our stuff, nobody else.
You kind of get captive in there, don't they? We're going to talk about that a little bit more at length because we want to make sure we're directing traffic where it benefits us. You with me?
Yes.
With that said, this is our #1 priority, this right here. Customers spend a lot more time on our side than they do on yours, but who do they find? What do they find first? Do they find the car first? Do they find the dealership first? Or do they find you first when they're searching for a car?
They find a dealer first.
Really? They go shopping for a dealer?
Shop a car. I said it first, car.
I want that Corvette. I'm gonna go looking for the car first. I find the car first, and then I find you. And then the way I find you, if you don't have it as a part of your package, I gotta jump on Google, find out where you're at. So some of the best practices that are going on, we're gonna share with your management team here. It's gonna get the customer directed more towards you, okay? But when we get them on the phone and email, we wanna make sure they're coming one place only, and that place is where?
Right here.
Here or where? Showroom.
Dealer site.
Here? Okay, everybody here knows you have 2 dealerships that you work at, right? There's a dealership that you work at, and then there's a dealership that you work at, but your customers see you on. Where's that place? They don't know who you are from Adam. They haven't even met you. They don't know how good of a person you are. We're all good people. Your competitors are all good people. But there's gotta be a difference between us and our competitors. When they go shopping, we gotta get them stuck. The second hour, we're gonna share with you how you get them stuck on you when they come across you, okay? But right now, we gotta keep one thing in mind, that we gotta be a tiny bit different than everybody else. So, here's your 25 cars. Here's a good moment for you to write this thing down. I go looking for that Corvette, and 25 cars show up. This thing is called Search Results Page. Write it down. Search Results Page. Put SRP in front of it because that's what we use for search results page for the rest of the day. SRP. Okay, so customers go SRP, they find the car on a page where you are, where your competitors are. But then VDP is more important to you than SRP. What is a VDP?
Vehicle description page.
Who said that? That is worth another unspeakable value. All right. Any more items?
Hey, you're treating me right. Go ahead. You're treating me right.
Sure. Okay, so here's an opportunity for us to have them start looking for the car they want, but then lure them towards who? This is who right here.
That's closer to our vehicle.
That's us. When they click on a VDP, which is your vehicle description page, it's one step closer to coming into your showroom. And then once they click on the VDP, they get one step closer to you on your website. So search result page is a lot like a drive-by. Have you seen the customer drive by your front line and keeps going slower, people honking behind them, they keep looking over? What are they doing?
Trying to see if they see something they like.
They're shopping, right? Same thing happens here. They're shopping for that car that they want. We want to hopefully do something like this. How do you make it stand out? How do you make your car stand out to where they do this? They pull into the dealership, they get out of the car, they start kicking the tires, looking inside, looking around the car. That's when we come in contact, right?
Descriptions?
Yeah. We will discuss that at length at a different time, but how customers respond to us is through how we communicate with them. Your position again is what?
Business Development Manager.
Business Development Manager. If you really look at that word and that title, everything requires an action and a reaction. You with me? Watch. I'm a customer, you're a salesman, I just walked up to you.
Hi, my name's John Smith, and yours?
John, I am Mr. Nehrir.
Mr. Nehrir, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in today.
Okay, how, as a customer, how did I set him up to respond to me? How is he gonna respond to me?
You said Mr.
Last name.
So you're
Mr.
making
Nehrir.
setting
He's
up
not
the
gonna
expect-
he's not gonna say, hey, you, or whatever, he's gonna say, Mr. Nehrir, this way, watch this again. I'm walking up to you.
Hello, how are you today? My name's John Smith.
John, how are you? I'm Shawn.
Shawn,
How you doing
nice to
today?
meet you.
Okay? What did I do that's just there?
More open, more friendly.
I've told him my first name, which I'm allowing him to do what?
Call you by your first name.
Exactly. So the customers talk to us in a way, they will tell us exactly how they want us to
address them.
respond to them, right? Now, what about this? This time, I'm a salesman and you're a customer. let me see if I'm setting up this customer, and this is how it goes everywhere. Whether it's a form of, may I be of service, may I assist you, can I help you? Hey, John, can I help you?
Yes, you can. Looking for a car.
What's the first thing that comes out of a customer's mouth when you say, can I help you?
Just
John?
looking. Just looking.
Just looking.
Right? Come on, look at me.
Guys, on the second hour, you guys are gonna be coming up here, and we're gonna be talking with one-on-one role plays. If you screw up or if you do something good, does it matter here?
Nope.
Does it matter if we do it in front of the customer?
Yes.
All day long. How many times you walked away?
Yeah.
Blew that one
In your
too.
head.
Right?
Coffee.
So, when a customer,
Pay attention, guys.
when a customer is coming in front of you, do they choose us or do we choose them?
We choose them.
Say again?
We choose them.
No.
They chose
When they're already here?
When a customer comes to our dealership, calls the dealership, emails the dealership, chats the dealership, or walks in, do they choose us or do we choose them?
He choose
They choose us, right? So when they come over here, they are looking at you as your help. There's a voucher, there's an attachment of a commission, gross. That help is not coming in free. Something is attached to it, right or wrong. So we're gonna get that done. Everybody give a round. That interaction comes with a price. We want to change that. We want to get away from everybody else up and down the city, parking the boulevard that is doing the same old crap. We want to get away from that. We want to stand you out to where when the customer comes in contact with you, they don't regulate us. So we got to make some assumptions, right? Do the customers go shopping? Is that true? Do they know the car that they want? Yeah. They may not know if it's a minivan or an SUV. They may not know if it's a convertible or a coupe, but they know about what they want, right or wrong?
Right.
What about this one? Have they compared vehicles? Those 25 Corvettes that I went and looked at, there's 3 of them that are $5,000 more than everybody else's. There's 3 of them that are replaced plan, there's bad tires, whatever, they're too low. So the customer walks in and says, I've got the same car elsewhere, it's $3,000 less.
Yes.
Does that happen?
All right.
So, do the customer compare vehicles?
Yes.
Those guys that are $3,000 to $5,000 more, they don't even get an opportunity at the customer because the customer is thinking, hey, too high. They're gougers. I don't want to deal with them. So if I'm an in-market shopper, who do I want to deal with? The guys up there or down there, or
In the middle.
the in-market dealers? You with me? There's no accident why your customers come and see you. They have to have seen an action from you to react to them. Everybody gets what I'm talking about? What about this? Do they know prices? Did I go and evaluate to see if I want the upper ones or the lower ones and choose from the middle?
Yes.
Do they kind of fall themselves in there? So knowing all this is very important because the customers have told us they want their dealership experience to match what?
Online experience.
So with that said, they told us they're willing to travel. They're willing to travel from Alhambra to Pasadena, to Santa Monica, to South Bay, to downtown LA to get what?
The right car.
The right car at the right
price.
at the right
Dealership.
Right, so would it say, is it fair to say the same cars that you carry here is the same exact car they have in Santa Monica and downtown? It is, isn't it?
Brand new, yes.
So let me ask this question. Is a customer going to a different dealership to get a different car or a different treatment?
Treatment.
That experience, that ROE, when we come back from the break today, that ROE, you're gonna see how much different it can be once we start thinking about not being a car salesman. Because everybody knows when they go in the shop for a car, they're coming into a, what's the name? Car dealership, and you are a car salesman. You're selling cars, VW cars. Everybody knows that, right? Does your dealership do haircuts? Do they do pizzas? Do you guys sell real estate? Everybody knows this stuff. Everybody knows what they're coming here for. So it's time for us to match up a little bit. So, tell you a little story about Brian and Dale, 2 boys growing up in a mom and pop family, 30-car dealership in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. population 500, one red light in the whole city. 30 car lot, mom and pop, they're growing up, sweeping the floors, changing the oil, detailing cars. They go to college and they come back. They come back from college and Ryan says, well, I need to go get a job, like this summer I'll just sell cars. He sells the first car, and then dad walks up and says, here goes son, here's your voucher. Looks at it and says, $750. Dad, is this how much money we make on cars? He says, yeah, well, a little bit less sometimes, a little bit more most of the time. He says, cool. He goes to Dale, his brother, he says, man, we're sitting on a gold mine here. It's great being here. I didn't do all that much effort and I could sell a whole bunch of cars. So these are a case study. Anybody know what a case study is? What's a case study?
Somebody that you study, I guess, to see what the average.
Somebody who paid attention to. They came to autotrader.com. They said, look, we're not a new car dealership, we're a used car dealership. And we want to maximize our ability to see people as people see us. We want our customers to see us more often. What do? So I said, first you need to have a website, and you all have a new car website, right? We gave them this website right here, and then we said, we need to put a physical address and something that would go with your virtual address, just like everybody's got. Then we got to do a trackable phone number to see where the calls are coming from and how they're coming. We all do that now. Then we got to give a clear message of what it is that we do. They specifically deal in what? Trucks. And when you want to buy a truck, you don't exactly have the money, what do you need?
Financing.
So they connect the 6 banks to it. Is there a place on the internet where you can go in, if you have a trade-in, you can put in the information, it spits out how much, and it guarantees you? Huh?
Auto trader money.
Exactly right. Trade-in marketplace. In fact, make a long story short, I was a guinea for trade-in marketplace about 5 years ago when it was starting to brew up, dealing with the auctions and things like that. Okay? So getting back to these guys, they wanted every customer to tell them, there you go, man. Take yourself. You good. They told all their customers, all their customers, they want to know where they're coming from. They put a push pin to where they bought the car, where they live, where they bought the car. Everybody from Canada, Mexico, Florida, the Eastern Soup, everywhere. Wow. North Carolina.
That's strong.
Everywhere. So here's what happened. The mom and pop 30 car dealership is now a 500 car a month truck center. They have 47 employees, $4 million facility, and they just built that 4 years ago. Within 8 years, they went from a mom and pop store paying attention to the internet shopper to a $4 million facility. So I spoke with Brian last month. I said, Brian, what kind of June did you have? He said, not a good June. We had graduations and kids to school, summer. I sold 68 cars. I said, yeah, that's a pretty bad month. He said, yeah, but my brother sold another 311 cars in his group. So it's still a pretty good number, over 400 cars in the month of June, but they've been averaging 500 cars a month just on the internet because they don't have the customers around them. So let's see what that looks like. Customers came in and bought cars from them, and they did one very important thing. They send testimonials. And you realize autotrader.com, we know exactly where the customers go. When they come on our site, which most people, when they think about buying a car, whether it's new or used, they go one place. Where is that place? Autotrader.com. We are the emblem for buying and selling cars, right? When the customer comes on our site, we can track it. Customers vote with their clicks, and we can count how much time they spend on each picture, each site, each place. So when we followed them, we found out they spend majority of the time where? Testimonials. So here's a question for you. Is there a place on your website that has a testimonial that the customers can go on and see how you've treated your previous customers? 90% of the dealers out there don't have that, but that's where majority of the time is being spent by the internet shopper. Do you have a book that has testimonials in it that you can throw on your desk? Have you received a card or a praise or anything? You know what the latest thing is? The customer just doesn't send an email. they send a video of themselves, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. So this guy came from Maryland, bought the car online, and they wrote back about it, 700 miles away, did everything. Today we're going to prepare you how you deal with somebody that's further away from you. So here's a question that comes to mind. Where do you make the most gross? Somebody that's down the street or somebody that's across the state, 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles, 3,000 miles away? Where do you make the most gross?
Farther away the better.
Why?
Because if they have to go that far of a distance to get to you, they gotta want that car.
They went shopping. They're willing to travel. Let me ask you a question. If somebody says, I want to come buy a used car or a new car from you, I'm flying into LAX, would you go and pick them up, bring them in so they can drive the car home?
Yes.
All day long, right? So what happens if the customer says, I want to buy it by phone and FedEx? Are you ready and prepared to answer that question? I want you to write it down because we're going to bring it up, we're going to talk about it. How do you deal with somebody that wants to do it on the internet? Do you do that quite often now?
You know, to be honest, we've had a request for a used car purchase from out of state without having to come down here. It's just the thought of it and the red flags of it just scares me.
I'm going to share with you how it could be buried today. But remind me to tell you when we get to that portion of it. Right now, we just need to move through. Everybody's had some lunch. Here's a dealer that is very close to us. It's in the valley. They do a lot of things right. They market their cars right. They communicate with the customers right on the internet. How do they do that? Where do they communicate to the customer? When the customer goes looking for their car, how do they communicate with them? What's that action?
Influence, engagement.
Yeah, but where do they go?
Chat.
One before that. When they find the car,
Email.
okay, work with.
Oh, they're
Vehicle
VDP.
description.
Listen to where I'm going with you. You guys go and put your cars, the photos, the price, the mileage, the comments online. Customers come and read that stuff. Where do you connect?
Online video.
No, they're
Price.
reviews and their testimonials.
You guys said it a minute ago. It's the VDP and those comments. Some dealers, they put power steering, power brakes, blah, blah, blah. Others say, one owner, right of ownership. It has navigation.
Clean Carfax.
They communicate with the customer like it's a two-way communication. Those are the dealers that are winning. Because the customer's eyeballs are looking at 24, 25 cars. The one that stands out the most is the one that has a little bit of a history. So to the management team, we got to get the sales staff to put a personality on every one of your used cars and to go onto the new cars and put some real photos in there. Do you have new cars online? Do you put real photos or stock photos?
Stock.
Might want to consider having your company do some real photos. They're spending more time on real photos than they are on stock photos. And then they're paying more attention to a dealer that's taken the time to talk to them like they're a person and puts that personality back into those comments. So you salespeople, are we in the numbers game?
Yeah.
The more customers look at our ads, the more customers are going to email us, call us, chat us, and come in, right? So you guys need to go to work and help your management team put personality with every single one of your cars out there. When you take a car on trade-in, I'd take a minute or two and say, tell me a little bit about your car. Bring it up in the sales meeting and talk with your colleagues. What goes around, comes around. So if you do something for them, when it's time for them to get a trade-in, they're going to tell you about it. It's going to make it a lot easier to sell the car. Okay? So let's get back to the dealership. All of their zip codes around this Valley dealership has been represented. It means customers want to do business with local people, except they can't because the local people are not meeting them. They're not connecting with them. They are doing what? Disconnecting, right? So here's a question for you. Majority of your customers go beyond 25 miles. That's in this market. Who can tell me what 25 miles means in hours and minutes on any day in Southern California?
2 hours.
2 hours, but it's not just 2 hours, guys. It's 2 hours to get there, another 2 hours to do whatever, another hour to do lunch, another 2 hours to get back. You're blowing the whole day. These people want to do business with you, but we got to know what to say to them or how to say to them before it happens. So here's what happens. They select three, in a populated area in Southern California, they select 3 different dealerships. Out of the 25, 3 dealerships. When they walk in here, you don't know if they're the first one, second one, or third one, but you know that they are here. What happens when they are? You have a best opportunity, right? So here, somebody tell me, are you better face-to-face, on the phone, on email, or on chat?
Face-to-face,
Really? How many people say face-to-face? How many people say phone? How many people say email? You know what, guys? I submit to you, it's the same guy. Could you build rapport on the phone? Yes. All day long. Could you build rapport on the email? Could you build rapport in person?
As short as I've been in the business, 1 year, I would say face-to-face beats all of them, no matter what. If there's a slight edge, it's face-to-face.
Okay. When you come back from the break, we're going to concentrate on what you just said. But for the time being, 3 dealerships. That means if they are here, it's buy or you gotta do whatever you can to do it, right? Here's what majority of the customers do. They find you, they get in their car, they come in and buy it. Only 21% call, 13% send an email. And I work for a company that sells 1,000 cars a month. At the time I used to work for them, they used to get 2,000 plus emails a month, over 2,500 calls a month. They delivered 1,000 cars a month. And the majority of the people drive in, we get to see them before they call in and so on. We'll discuss that further when we come back. So I do have some really good news for you. Can you read that for me, Jack?
Great news, consumers are connecting. People still buy cars from people and will continue to buy.
So are you guys okay with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. When you come back, be